Hi, this is Sara Murray from the Razorleaf Corporation. You may have heard of the REST API as it relates to Autodesk PLM 360. There are lots of online resources for understanding what REST is and how it works. Here we will focus on what it can provide, namely a way to read and write data to and from Autodesk PLM 360 outside of the user interface. This can be handy for things such as importing items with non-standard revision identifiers or migrating your existing Autodesk PLM 360 data to your ERP system, including the DMS ID, which is not accessible via reports. In addition, any software or application such as Jitterbit that integrates Autodesk PLM 360 with another system, for example, PDM, ERP, or CRM, is using the REST API as its underlying method. So it is helpful to understand a bit about REST in order to grasp how the integration software is actually working. During development of an integration solution, it also helps to use a quick and easy tool outside of the integration software to isolate and test specific REST calls. Finally, sometimes a REST call needs to be coded from within integration software in those cases where the built-in functions of an integration application just don't cover what you want to do. Things you will need: login credentials to an Autodesk PLM 360 tenant, a REST client. Some examples are the Advanced REST Client extension to the Chrome web browser, or the CURL command line tool. We have found the Advanced REST Client to be an easy-to-use application. The REST API can be encoded in either XML or JSON. The following examples use XML. To obtain the Advanced REST Client, go to the Chrome Web Store, search for Advanced REST Client, and click the blue button that states Add to Chrome. Also click on Add App. Now that you have the things that you need, you can get a list of all the workspaces in your tenant. Here's how. Log in to Autodesk PLM 360 using Chrome. In another tab in the same browser window, open up the REST client. For the URL, enter. Ensure the verb get is selected. Click in the box underneath where it says headers and enter the words content type application/XML exactly as it's listed in the example, and click send. On a successful request, you will receive a response with status of 200 OK and the XML payload, here the results of your request. In this case, we see the start of the list of workspaces in this tenant, the products workspace, items and BOMs, and tasks. You are provided with the workspace ID, the category or type of workspace that it is, the workspace label, and a link. Now that you have the ID of a workspace you are interested in, you can get the XML representation of the items in a workspace with the following request URL. You are provided with the details of the item, whether it's deleted or not, the item descriptor, the DMS ID, who it was created by, and much more. The meta field keys, values, and types for all the item details fields, and any BOM child relationships for which this item is the parent, as well as the inverse BOM or where used for this item, if applicable. Cool, right? By default, this request is set to return 10 items. Among other things, you can set the size of the request to get more or fewer items by using query parameters. For example, here is how to get only one item back, filtering out any deleted items and not including any relationships. This leads us to the Web Application Description Language, or WADL, for REST API documentation in Autodesk PLM 360. You do need to be logged in on a different browser tab to access it. In the WADL, you can explore all the different REST API calls that Autodesk PLM 360 currently supports, possible query parameters, input requirements, etc. For example, this last request that we made to get an item in a certain workspace is documented as such. You can see that we are just looking at the tip of an iceberg, but hopefully this video gives you a little experience so you are able to get started using REST with Autodesk PLM 360. If you have questions about this material or want to know more about REST API calls or integration with Autodesk PLM 360, we welcome you to contact us and start a conversation.